If you've been working out consistently, gaining muscle, and improving your physique, but every time you look down at your wrists, they still seem tiny, you're not alone. Wrists are one of those stubborn areas that feel impossible to grow, no matter how much you train your arms. I remember dealing with this exact problem. My arms were getting bigger, my strength was improving, but my wrists looked the same, thin, weak, and underdeveloped. And if you've ever taken the so-called wrist size test, where you wrap your thumb and middle finger around your wrist and your fingers overlap, you know exactly what I mean. For the longest time, I thought wrist size was purely genetic. After all, there's barely any muscle around the wrist, just tendons, ligaments, and bone. And while it's true that bone structure plays a role, what if I told you that you can actually increase your wrist size and forearm thickness with the right kind of training? Not only that, but you can also improve your grip strength, build insane forearm endurance, and even enhance your overall upper body strength. And the best part? You only need one exercise to do it. A few years ago, I stumbled onto something that changed everything. It wasn't wrist curls, it wasn't squeezing a grip strengthener, and it definitely wasn't endless sets of forearm exercises. The secret was dead hanging. Yes, simply hanging from a pull-up bar. It sounds too simple to work, but let me explain why it's so effective. A while back, I started a challenge where I attempted to accumulate 1,000 seconds of dead hangs per day. I split it into multiple sets, but by the end of each session, my forearms were burning, my grip was shot, and most surprisingly, my wrists felt pumped. I never expected that. I figured it was just a temporary effect. But after a full week of consistently hanging, I noticed something crazy. When I performed the wrist test again, my fingers no longer overlap. My wrist circumference had actually increased. At first, I couldn't believe it. I had spent years doing all the conventional forearm and grip exercises. Wrist curls, reverse curls, farmer's carries. But none of them had ever made my wrist bones feel thicker. Yet after just 1 week of dedicated hanging, I saw a measurable difference. And after months of keeping dead hangs in my routine, I had officially crossed into the large wrist category. So how does this actually work? We've all heard the argument that wrist size is just bone structure. But here's the thing, bone adapts to stress. This is the same reason why gymnasts, who spend years putting stress on their wrists through handstands and other high-impact movements, develop visibly thicker and denser wrist joints. The stress of hanging creates micro-adaptations in the wrist joint, bones, and connective tissues. Over time, your body reinforces the structures that are under constant load, leading to denser bones, stronger tendons, and an overall increase in wrist thickness. But it's not just about wrist size. Dead hangs also build brutal grip strength and forearm endurance. Most exercises work your grip for short bursts, but hanging forces your forearms to sustain a contraction for an extended period of time. This is what creates that insane pump and the deep, lasting burn that leads to real growth. So if you're serious about building bigger, stronger wrists and forearms, here's the exact protocol that worked for me. Start by grabbing a pull-up bar with an overhand grip, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Hang for as long as possible until your grip gives out. Let go and immediately time your rest period. It should be the exact same length as your hang. Go for another round, aiming to match your previous time. If you only get 80% of your original time, that's fine. Just match your rest to your second set's duration. Repeat this process for 5 total sets. For example, let's say your first hang lasts 60 seconds. You rest 60 seconds, then attempt your second set. If your second set is 45 seconds, you then rest 45 seconds before moving on to the third round. Each set builds on the last, creating a descending time structure that forces your grip and forearms to work harder as fatigue sets in. The goal is to accumulate as much total hang time as possible across 5 sets. As you get stronger, you'll gradually be able to hang for longer durations and accumulate more time overall. Now you might be wondering, why does dead hanging work better than traditional grip exercises? The answer lies in how the tension is distributed. Exercises like wrist curls primarily target the lower forearm, but dead hangs engage the entire grip chain, from your fingertips, through your hands, up your wrists, and into your forearms. It's a full-length engagement of the muscles and connective tissues responsible for grip and wrist stability. If you're struggling with weak wrists or a weak grip, this is the fastest way to build real strength. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can add variations to target different aspects of grip endurance and forearm activation. Try fat grip hangs by wrapping a towel around the bar to increase the diameter, forcing your fingers to work even harder. Or do one-arm hangs to double the load on each wrist and forearm. It's also important to remember that focus is key. Just mindlessly hanging won't get you the best results. You need to engage your grip, feel your forearms working, and push yourself to the limit on each set. I challenge challenge you to try this for 1 full week. 5 sets of max hangs every day for 7 days. Track your progress, take a wrist measurement before and after, and see the results for yourself. If you stay consistent, you'll notice a difference, not just in size, but in how powerful your grip feels in every lift, every pull-up, and even in daily activities. So, are you ready to level up your wrist size and grip strength? Drop a comment below and let me know if you're taking on the Dead Hang Challenge. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more in-depth workout strategies, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.